I don't usually make drives to the land in the middle of the week, so this was kind of out of the blue, but I knew it was something that my sister needed. I drove up there and met her. She was a little bit behind me, so I took a look around while I was waiting for her, checked out my plants here. It looks like there's some that are growing. There's weeds in some of them as well, but I believe that most of them didn't make it through the cold spells. Some of them did, but we'll see once we actually go back to plant. My mulberry trees over here are actually still alive. They don't have any leaves on them, obviously, because we're just coming out of winter, but once they bloom, I'm sure they're going to look really good. They're both very much taller than they were, so they've grown up some. After checking them out, I walked down to where we have our camper and we have the tent set up, and I was looking closely at the ground around here because this is where we had burned a lot of the brush, and we have some of the road in here, so obviously there's no growth, but on the sides you can actually see there is some growth. We have wildlife. Still kind of bare, but look at the green there. It's growing. Might take a little while, but we'll get there. Here's our tent, and then that's a huge tree trunk that obviously the fire didn't burn it completely gone. And our camper and our elephant graveyard. That's what it reminds me of, The Lion King. It was truly beautiful that day, and the weather was it was very windy, but it wasn't a cold wind. So I checked out the camper to make sure that it was secure, and it looked like it hadn't been touched, which is good. And after I checked that out, I walked over here to our tent that we had put up. I was almost nervous that I was going to find something like some kind of wildlife or something in there, because it's kind of ominous when you walk up to it. I peeked in. It looked like everything was good. Still a mess, but we didn't really have time to set it up properly before we left that day. Next time we go up, we may have more time to do that. The reason for the trip today was to bury my sister's cat who had passed away, and so it was just me and her. She lives in an apartment currently, so there was nowhere there to bury her. This area is all where they kind of cut out with a bulldozer, so there's no growth, which we want to have some kind of road around here anyway. So that just keeps it nice and easy for us to drive our vehicles on, and the four-wheelers too. And there's one of our tree stands that wasn't removed when we bought the property. We actually have quite a few of those. And this wasn't too good. This is our water tower, which was covered when we were here last, but I think the wind just blew off the cover, and so now it looks like the water is quite green. So we'll end up having to drain that out and probably hose out the inside, which may be a project for us to bring home. And I didn't have a ladder, so I couldn't climb up there and put the cover back on, which is probably good anyway since it's already green, so it's not going to make a difference. Walked down here, which was absolutely beautiful. And look at that, it's just stunning. That's where our house will be eventually. No, I'm not running here, I just sped it up. So I checked on the the bee feeder first, and I wasn't too happy about this. Although it was actually to be expected. It's sugar water, so if you look closely through the bucket, you can see there's growth inside, which is not healthy for them. And then of course around the outside as well. And there's flies hovering around. I didn't see any bees around it, but it has been a while since we were there. And then I checked out the hive and I saw ants coming out and going in. There was one bee, and there's a dead bee on the outside as well, but I didn't see any other than that one bee. And it was really windy, and I did not want to try to check the inside because I would have to unstrap it, and didn't have any tools with me, and I don't usually do that part, my husband does. So I just videoed it, and hopefully the next time we go up together, we'll be able to clear things off and really check to see what the inside, if we even have any bees left in there. It also could have been the wind that was causing there not to be a lot of bees, but I don't really know too much. My husband's done more research on bees than I have. I did decide to keep walking, looked around. I didn't go down through the woods because there's really nothing there for me to check on. And at that point, it was getting close to my sister arriving, so I needed to meet her back at the field. So I decided I was going to walk with the shovel and go start digging since it was going to be a while. She told me she was running late, but I changed my mind and decided to wait on her. And so when she arrived, we started digging the burial site for her cat. And this was super hard because the dirt, I don't know if you can tell from the video, but the dirt was like straight clay. So it was super, super hard to dig down. And that's E for Echo.